I'm sure most of my audience is familiar with ice road truckers, both the History Channel show and the real North American industry which inspired it. But did you know that out in Russia's remote wilderness there is a very different type of ice road trucker? Staying in line with Russia's general theme of driving into the wilderness, the truckers who work on these desolate frozen roads are left with almost nothing standing between them and the harshest permanently inhabited climate on Earth, Siberia. From winter to spring every year, Siberia's network of ice roads are open to truckers, usually running along frozen rivers, mudflats, or simple roads, which provide a unique path to remote Russian communities. While river roads are mostly made just by clearing the snow, other ice roads are constructed by spraying layers of water over land and allowing it to freeze. This may not be the most grippy of surfaces, but it beats driving over the rough terrain or pothole-covered roads underneath. The temperatures in Siberia range anywhere from -30 to -50 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter months, so for the most part the ice here is frozen solid. However, this is not always the case. It's more common than one might think for truckers to break through the frozen surfaces, as unpredictable conditions make each inch a gamble, especially for those hauling heavy. In the event of a vehicle sinking while traveling over a river, the chances of survival are grim, as even those who are able to escape their sinking vehicles are faced with the harsh conditions of the Siberian taiga. But for many, the gamble is worth it, as these ice road truckers are compensated well, at least by Russian standards, for putting their lives on the line. Working as a Siberian ice road trucker requires a few unique skills that make these drivers some of the toughest in the world. Firstly, ice road driving is a completely different beast than driving on asphalt, as each input must be smooth and calculated or one risks losing control. Stalling, grinding gears, being too heavy on the throttle or brakes, or even turning the wheel too hard can result in a truck careening into a bank, or worse, through the ice. Any elevation changes encountered along the path also pose a challenge, as the slippery surfaces allow for little traction, even with chains or snow tires. A slip while going up or downhill can spell disaster, or even death. Outside of facing the freezing weather and road conditions, these truckers should also be versed in basic survival skills, though not all are, mostly as a form of personal insurance in the event of an accident. While most travel in pairs or small crews, help is usually far away, if it comes at all. Hauls along these ice roads are measured in matters of days, not hours, as the massive size of Siberia takes exceptionally long to navigate when driving at low speeds along slick sheets of ice. As such, many drivers carry loads intended for multiple communities, and can spend weeks away from home in the wilderness running between villages. The settlements that the ice roads lead to are incredibly reliant on these hardy drivers to deliver their goods, as outside of these shipments much of food comes from subsistence hunting, and supplies must be made locally. For those delivering to commercial outposts, usually mines or petroleum fields, the journey can be incredibly dangerous, depending on load size. Many of these remote outposts can only have machinery delivered by truck, and only in the winter months as the melting of the ice reveals impassable landscapes. So what trucks could be tough enough to survive this inhospitable environment? Well, of course, the Russian KAMAZ is a mainstay of the industry and thrives in the environment it was built for. Certain European and Asian trucks can also be seen, both of those produced specifically for the ex-Soviet market and international models. But the latter lacks a certain pizzazz and masculinity that Siberian truckers gravitate towards. To maintain these trucks out in the wild, outside of basic maintenance, blowtorches are the most useful tool an ice road trucker can carry. As temperatures plummet, especially at night, parts of the truck can freeze, such as the drive shaft. Truckers do the best they can to keep their trucks, and themselves, from freezing, keeping the engine on as much as possible. This constant pressure restricts drivers from taking breaks, so pairs will often switch off driving to stay on the road continuously for days at a time. The most dangerous time of year for traversing the ice roads is in spring, when unpredictable conditions can turn the thick sheets of ice into a swampy mess seemingly overnight. This can leave truckers stranded, unable to press on, but for those fortunate enough to have a high ground clearance, a swamp or even a body of water is nothing that cannot be conquered. Russian truckers have a phrase, «Русский называет дорогой то место, где он собирается проехать», or the Russian calls a road the place where he wants to go. And I believe that phrase perfectly embodies the spirit of these Siberian truckers, stopping at nothing to make their deliveries. Thanks for watching, and sorry for my Russian pronunciation. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, unless that thought was negative, in which case I only have one thing to say to you. Bleh.